Okay, now that we've wedged up our clay, we're ready to throw it on the wheel and center it. I personally believe that centering is actually a very easy process, but it's often overcomplicated. So today, for kind of beginners and even maybe some people who have some experience, you might pick up something. We're gonna really turn it down to the basics. So first thing, I wanna find a nice smooth spot on my clay. I probably wouldn't wanna throw that down on the wheel because that's gonna create like a bubble underneath, and I don't want that. So nice smooth spot, doesn't have to be flat, but just something that's smooth. And I'm gonna throw that down into the center of the wheel, 1, 2, 3, and pop. And then from there, I'm gonna use my hands and I'm gonna smack it downwards and in, and I'm rotating the wheel with my hands, not my foot. And my goal here is just to apply enough pressure to make sure it sticks to the wheel, but also make a bit of a cone shape that's gonna kind of help me manage it. Give it a little pop on the top so I know it's stuck. Body position, we wanna get as close as you can to the wheel. If you have space like this, you're gonna end up using your arms and your hands to try to center this, which will make things a lot harder. So I'm gonna move quite forward. I'm really gonna straddle this wheel. Throw a bunch of water on there. You just need enough to make it nice and wet. Index finger to push down to make sure it's got a really nice secure hold. And then this is something that we do here at our studio at mudlab. We have people take the slip and on their non-dominant hand, so for me, I'm right-handed, this will be my left hand, I'm gonna draw a line kind of where the thumb and the forearm meet. This is gonna be my target for the centering position here, okay? So I'm gonna really try to leverage my body and the radius bone through here to make sure that I'm leveraging as much of my physics, my physiology, as opposed to my muscles, okay? So water on there, I'm really nice and close to the wheel. I'm gonna take my elbow and I'm gonna put it in front of my body. So we all have different, flexibilities, body shapes and sizes, and all these kinds of things can make it challenging to really get inside here. But I wanna have something behind my arm so that as I push in, I'm gonna push with my body as opposed to my arm. For me, I'm able to get it kind of into my hip bone here. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring my hand down, so I'm sitting up straight, bring my hand down, line this up to the center. Okay, and then I'm gonna push my hip forward, and that will very quickly and easily push this clay upwards. So lots of water on there, into my hip, line this up to the center, and I'm gonna push my hip forward. Notice that my hand is cupped, but it's relaxed, okay? And I'm making contact down here with all of this. So I'm not riding up on the clay. I can even use my finger to sort of squeeze in there if I need to. Push forward, and that's gonna encourage the clay to go up. At this stage, if I want a cone, I can bring my hand in on the opposite side and using kind of this part here of my fingers in the center of the clay, so right opposite this, I can squeeze in. And what that will do is encourage the clay to move upwards, okay? And that's how you easily cone. The most basic way to kind of center is not coning. So if coning is hard for you, you can just keep your hand here, as I'd said, push forward, give yourself a thumbs up, and then with your the web of your thumb and your index finger, grab onto that thumb, pivot your elbow forward, and use this part of your palm right over top of the center of the clay. So I should be able to see a large portion of that clay kind of hanging out. So I'm just over the center with this part. And then I push down as I push in with my body. And that will trap the clay right to the center, okay? You can use this hand, like kind of leveraging this thumb a little bit to sort of keep this round, and this hand can also come down to encourage that round shape. You can also push down, push up, push down, push up, and these are like mini cones. Okay, so elbow into my body, line this up to the center if this is really out of center, into my body, straight through to the middle, and I'm gonna push my hip into my arm, and that's gonna encourage the clay to move up. I can block it here by putting my thumb up, index and thumb in the web, slide over this part here, right over the center. Everything is relaxed, I'm not tense, and that's how you center up a lump of clay. If you want a cone, you do the same thing and you're bringing it in, so you're squeezing in and you're lifting that clay up, a good squeeze at the bottom, and then follow that upwards, okay? And my hands are just kind of getting smaller as I move up. I'm not cupping or trying to lift, I'm just applying pressure. Once I've got that cone, so moving up, and I wanna bring it down, one of the biggest things that beginners do is they focus too much on the downward movement, where actually you wanna focus on a forward movement. I'm gonna maintain this exact position here, so elbow in front of my body, I'm gonna put this top of this in the center of my palm so that I have this meaty pad kind of hanging over top here. Fingers are gonna be nice and relaxed around the clay, and I'm gonna take my back hand, put my thumb behind my wrist here like that, and then this part is gonna come right behind the clay, okay? Fingers are nice and chill, and everything is gonna push forward. So at this moment, I'm not pushing down at all. I'm actually keeping my hands where they are, and you'll notice the clay is moving down on its own. So that's an indicator that pushing forward will actually help the clay move down. So now that we've seen that, I'm gonna kind of do the whole thing in one motion. So center of my palm here, meaty pad of this thumb pad kind of coming over the top a little bit, just on the back side. This is gonna come from behind. Everything is gonna push forward, so I see that curving. And then very slowly follow that down, keeping my fingers nice and relaxed. And then as I get here, I can get over top of it and bring it all the way down and press in. And what you'll notice that this last position is the exact same position that we did on that first more simple one. So this is where you end up, and you should be nice in the center. Okay? A lot of people recommend that you go full speed. If you're just starting out, I find that actually going a little bit slower when you're centering can help out. So if you're having a hard time centering and you're feeling like this is happening all the time, slow the wheel down just a little bit more than medium, and you'll find that you'll have a little bit more control over the wheel, and you can time that wobble a bit more and just spend a little more time with it. It'll take a second longer, but you'll find yourself easily able to manage that wobble. How do I know it's in the center? Visually I can tell, but also if I put my fingers in the side, they don't dance. So my hand stays relatively still versus something like that. Okay, to recap a couple of things with centering. Number one is body position. So I'm gonna get as close as I can to the wheel. Number two is where you put your elbow. So if you can, put your elbow in front of something. So if I push my elbow back, it should encounter my body in my hip. And then I'm gonna line this up to the center, okay, and push my body forward, keeping my fingers relaxed. Thumb is up so I can anchor in here. And the last thing is slow your wheel down a little bit. If you find that that full speed is kind of crazy for you, that will help you kind of control things a bit more. And as you push in, the clay will move up, trap it down to the center. God, Boogie, you're such a little... There we are. I swear, last time I did this video too, same thing. Every like 30 seconds, Boogie.